Shalamar in the house.
What's up?
Hey. How are you guys?
Good.
Welcome to Mi-Soul. Welcome to Mi-Soul. So we've got Howard, we've got Carolyn, and we've got Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I'm going to talk to you first, only because you are all over the TV at the moment, not just with the stuff that you've been doing for Strictly, but BBC are rerunning a bunch of old Top of the Pops just now. So they're in 1982, which is the year at the moment. And last week, you were doing that dance thing that you did. I don't know whether you recall, with the umbrella and the cup of tea and all of that kind of stuff. So it was quite bizarre because the rest of the band weren't on it. You were just there dancing to the track,
right.
And you sort of kind of did this thing where you popped up from behind a thing with Shalamar written on it,
right,
as if you were walking up the stairs, and then they got this wind machine going, and you were moonwalking across the stage with an umbrella.
Well,
Which is just
the wind machine.
Yeah.
It was in Pantomime and that.
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen the live shows. I mean, they're really dynamic. So, and you're still dancing like you were 12 years old. It's amazing. I mean, where do you find the energy to do that?
I don't know. I guess once a dancer, you're always a dancer. So it's second nature. But it's not as easy to do now as it used to be. But. Back then, everything is natural. You have that natural elasticity, but now you got to kind of like stretch and work for it to keep it going. But but it's still there. It's still there.
So do you find you have to rehearse and keep going and practice a bit more nowadays? Is that what you're saying? Or?
I should be.
Right. Okay.
That's what I should be doing, but I don't. But when it's time for us to do shows, then I tend to start trying to get myself in shape when I know shows are coming up.
And I mean, the shows are really dynamic. It's basically a big party on the stage, isn't it? And what I noticed with you, Carolyn, is that you've injected a whole new dynamism into the band. I say new, actually. You've been with the band longer than anybody else. But I mean, when we watch you perform live, the dynamism that you put into that is like, it makes the shows really sort of contemporary sounding now as well. I think you brought a whole new special edge to that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Probably because I'm just a little younger.
Just a little.
Just a little.
2 years.
Howard used to change my diapers. Anyway,
Wrong. Wrong.
Yeah, it's just, I think I'm probably maybe just a little more, not more excited, but like I say, this is not new for them. It was new for me to be able to come. And like I say, Shalamar has always been my favorite group. Not even on the label. And when I was a kid, I mean, Shalamar was it for me. So to be able to be in this position now, I mean, it's like a dream come true. So.
And let's just talk about that a second, because you're not some girl they just plucked off the street here. I mean, well, maybe. You know what I'm saying, though. I mean, You've got proper history here with Shalamar and Solar Records and so on, and your mum, Carrie Lucas, and obviously your dad. It's one of those things where you've sort of kind of been in the environment for an awful long time.
Absolutely.
And I know you explained this during the show as well. So did you find it quite easy to slot in and just sort of kind of do your own thing?
Absolutely not.
Yeah? No?
No.
Really? Wow.
Absolutely
Why is
not.
that then?
Because for somebody like me, like I said, with them being, and it's funny because I guess when you're in the entertainment industry, you compartmentalize your relationships and, whether he's knucklehead, big brother, or, Jeff. When I was a kid, Jeffrey was just like, it was like a kid. I mean, almost like how Michael Jackson and the kids are. I mean, it was you, and you knew you were going to hang out with Jeffrey Daniel. It was like, oh my gosh, because it was like Disneyland. So, I mean, they were iconic in a different way, not because I didn't realize their worldwide fame at the time. Just to me, they were just it was just cool. But when I came in, it was almost a reluctance because being the fact that I had such a respect for the group and each member, first of all, I mean, who am I to even think that I could even stand up to such a, situation? But even though growing up in it and with parents, you don't look at yourself like that. And you just look at the fact that I have a lot of bars that I have to reach in order to, the expectations of being Carrie Lucas's daughter with what she did vocally. Our voices are different. And, and standing up to this, I mean, it took a minute for me to really get comfortable. And the guys were really a big part of helping me just, find my way and get my comfort in it.
So you kind of grew up around the sort of the birth of Solar,
Absolutely.
so you were surrounded by Shalamar and the Whispers and all of these great bands, and that must have been, like you say, Disneyland. But I mean, what a place to grow up and what a way to learn.
Right.
great university, eh?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, listening to Carolyn, I think we should cut her percentage down a little bit since she's so appreciative to us.
We don't want to really have that discussion.
But what you just said, like a university, right? It was that for all of us, Solar was, and Soul Train Solar, because that's where we were learning and growing up as recording artists, learning more the craft and art of writing songs, putting songs together, sound production, performing on stage, because we started at the beginning. It's not like today's artists, they can just put a record together, go out and shoot a video, boom, you're a success. We had to go out there and tour, we had to do all the work,
Put the work
field
in.
work, and so we really learned a lot.
Build a foundation.
Yeah.
I'm a strict foundation type of cat. It's like nothing stands without a strong foundation. So I'm glad that we put that time in. I mean, there's a lot of, like Jeff said, there's a lot of artists today that don't put that time in, and they scream to the top and they crash to the bottom real quick. So and that's because there's not a strong foundation there.
Well, I think we live in an instant fame situation at the moment.
Yeah,
It's
fast food.
all of these TV shows and all of that kind of stuff. But you're absolutely right. I mean, there's very little. I mean, I don't watch the American ones, so if I don't watch the British ones anymore because I think they're all burned out now. But you do tend to notice that those that have made it on that particular style of program maybe get 1, maybe 2 years perhaps, and then that's about it. There's very few of them that end up with real longevity as full-blooded artists that are recording and selling albums all the time. You don't see that.
I mean, you have to look at that. Like you said, there's very few. Like for home. The beginning of it was American Idol, and it was like the second season. My daughter said, "Oh, you're such an elitist," But it's like I know people who have worked all their lives to get to that point, and then, somebody's going to go 15 weeks or how many ever weeks they go, and then all of a sudden, but. You have the, Carrie Underwoods, and you have the Kelly Clarksons,
Reuben.
Reuben hasn't lasted as long.
And he
as
should have done
thought
really though, because he had some talent, that guy.
Yeah, but after it's about the time you put in that in when you're on that show, because anytime you're going into 60, 50, 60, 70 million living rooms, every week, it's like there's something you got to put in the time in order when you're there to make a big impression. Then once you're done with that, then you still have work that you have to do, and it's all, again, it's about building a foundation.
And let's just talk about that for a second, because you mentioned Soul Train there, Jeffrey, and obviously before Solar was Solar, it was Soul Train Records, and you started off as a dancer on the TV show there as well, didn't you? And met Jodie there, and then later Howard joined after that. Is that correct? After Uptown Festival,
I was actually the third lead singer that Shalamar had. First was this cat Gary Mumford. And
this guy,
yeah. This cat, Gary did Uptown Festival. And then Gerald Brown did, then Gerald Brown did Take That to the Bank, and then I came in after that, and so
But we wanted Howard the second time, but Howard had other obligations, so Howard didn't come the second time.
The first time, and then
for the second.
So you very nearly sang. You very nearly sang "Take That to the Bank," but not quite.
Nearly.
He was supposed to be the guy.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
supposed to be
I guess it would have been there.
Yeah.
I was with this other group that I put together and was obligated to come back over here, actually, over and tour Europe, and so my thing is like it's not about if I sign a piece of paper or whatever. It's about if I say I'm going to do something, then I try and follow through with that as much as possible. So But Jeffrey, I met Jeffrey when I was in Ohio. I was born and raised in Ohio, and back in the day, always just like everybody else, Saturday would come, and we're in front of the TV watching Soul Train. So I used to see Jeffrey dancing on Soul Train when I was in Ohio before I even went to L.A. And then when I went to L.A., started hanging out at this place called Mavericks Flat, put a group together there, and then that was the people I eventually came over here with. But whenever we played, we wanted to try a show out, we would play Mavericks Flat, and Mavericks also all the Soul Train people who used to come down there. Everybody used to hang out in Mavericks. You could see Richard Pryor hanging out in the audience, or Lionel Richie, Stevie, Shaka Khan, everybody, Earth, Wind and Fire members and stuff, and so like we would perform our show. When we put a show together, we wanted to try it out. We would perform it at Mavericks, and that's when Jeffrey and I first met.
So do you still do that now, that kind of, before you go and do, because some of these venues are quite big that you play now, so before you do that, do you go into the smaller gigs now and rehearse in front of a live audience and that kind of thing?
No.
Do you not need to do
We
that now?
just go to the big places.
Straight
Right there.
Straight for the
You're
jugular.
gonna go for it, just sink or swim.
Sink or swim.
And Howard, I mean, because obviously you have a very successful solo career as well, and you know, you're the big ballad guy. I think we've mentioned this.
Balladeer, man.
You are the
Love
ballad
it.
man,
That's
you know,
right.
and like
Love songs.
So you're singing these love songs, and then all of a sudden you're on the stage, and you know you're hosting a party with the other two, and you know everybody's there to dance, and everybody knows the words to the songs and are dancing around. How do you make that transition from being the balladeer into party man? How does that work?
Man, you know,
Party
because I leave
Party man.
because I leave the party into Jeffrey and Carolyn on stage. No, but I mean, you know, it's you know, when I do these, you know, when I come over here and I do the Shalamar stuff, man, it's like it's kind of like such a departure from Howard Hewett. You know, if I would be as bold as to do the third party thing, but. You know, but it's such a departure from doing Howard Hewett. I enjoy it because I get a break from the balladeer guy, you know, the love man, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of just be able to have some fun. I get, you know, like Jeff said one time, I can dress a little funkier, you know, and just, you know, do some choreography. I don't do a lot of choreography.
Howard dances more now than
Yeah, he does.
than he did back in the day.
Really?
Seriously, yeah.
But
And he enjoys it.
There's a couple of times we're putting something together, and I said, "Okay, Howard, you can chill because you're going to be singing." He said, "No, I can do that."
I wanna do
And even Howard added in some steps a couple of times.
I added some choreography a few
Now a
times. That's right.
choreographer.
You sit there trying to be cool, right, and laid back,
this is
like
me, 'cause
it's
I'm the
not all
ballad
that, but
man,
it really
guy.
is, isn't it?
You
He's
can't,
Mr. Four
don't
Corners.
mess up my persona now. You know, I gotta, you know, but I remember when I first joined the group though, back in the day, it was like, it was funny because we, you know, after we got in, we were putting the show together and we had to do choreography and stuff. Finally, I had to tell Jeff, and I said, "Look, you guys got me in here to sing. I can't sing if I'm doing all this, and then I get up to the mic." You know, so it's like you have to balance out the two. Even now, you have to balance out the two because one of the most important things is to give the best show vocally as well as visually.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's a little bit easier now for Howard because he doesn't wear those platform boots
That's
that he
right.
used to wear.
I used to wear heels.
High heel
It
boots.
was me and Prince. Me and Prince.
Actually, now the shows are obviously you always do a little thing. You mentioned Prince actually, and I'm going to get to that now because I'm guessing there's going to be something in the next set of live shows. Simply because you always do that anyway, don't you? I mean, I saw you do Uptown Funk and stuff last time you were here, and a few. So there's quite an area where you'll sort of either pay homage or you'll do something quite new. So what have you got planned for this next series of shows in the middle, either side?
Yeah.
Oh, you can give us a bit of a hint.
Want to give a little hint?
Yeah, give us a bit of a hint. Yeah.
Okay, that's it, right? That's it. That's one of the notes that we'll be singing.
But you know, I mean, I'll be the first to say, usually, you know, it's planned out, and our musical director, Stelios, I can't say it's a caballeros. I'm just kidding. No, he always tries to plan, but it never fails. Whenever we get together and we go to rehearsal, most of the time, and Jeffrey a lot of the time will say, you know what, this sounds great. It just kind of comes together. So a lot of that really is what the vibe
Spontaneous, yeah.
of the rehearsal
Once we get into rehearsal and stuff, we'll figure some stuff out. You know what you're talking about. You know, last time we were here, we all did tributes to artists that have passed on because we've lost so many artists through the last year and a half, 2 years or so, And then while we were here, that back then, that's when Prince passed away, and then we added a little piece of Purple Rain on there. And I mean, you know, it is an honor to pay tribute to those former artists because they're so huge in what they did.
And we've actually tried to dump the whole, the Uptown Funk thing, and the first thing, and they go, are you going to do Uptown Funk? So we'll figure it out as we go.
I think the thing is, I mean, it's been such a tragic year this year, really, in terms of how many people have passed away. You'd never have a chance to do any of your own stuff if you did that all the way through.
Dedicated to all of them, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it must be quite difficult to sort of kind of cherry pick what it is that you're going to do. You're not telling me, are you?
Do you have any suggestions?
No, I couldn't. I don't know. Maybe if it was me, I'd be going a bit left field, and I'd maybe get some David Bowie in there or something like that. You know, but
It's an amazing.
So you didn't
tribute
see
that
the
he
show
does.
last time we were here?
no, I didn't see the April one. I saw the one in October prior to
well,
that.
you're
Yeah.
coming up. Well, it'll all be a surprise to you.
Yeah, brilliant.
Good.
So I mean, it's quite a big tour. This you've got about 8 or 9 dates altogether, and you know, you're starting in London on Sunday. With regard to when people turn up for the shows, what are they going to get? What is it that Shalamar gives them that's different to anything else?
The best way we describe it, because it's feel-good music, and that's what Shalamar music has always been, and that's what it means to so many people. And that's why when we're on stage performing, people are dancing, they know the lyrics, they're singing along, they're bringing now their children, their younger brothers and sisters or whatever, and everybody's just having a good time. It's just such a good time. When we're on stage, of course, you know, we prepare a show and we're performing a show, but we're actually up there having a party as well. It's not like work at all. It's just like we're having a very good time. So I really look forward to it.
And that's what's important, you know, because what the audience gets is definitely projected from us.
Right.
And then what the audience gives back to us, you know,
And
we
play off of
that. So it's a give and take thing, you know, all the time. That's what performing should be about. Because people work hard for their money. They don't want to be sung at. They want to be sung to. They don't want you to sing at them or sing above them or not connect with them. They want to be a part of the show.
You know what? I didn't think about it until you asked, until he just said this. One of the hardest things, and it's easier for me now, was if I made a mistake and how I would be looked at now because of the warmth and like I say, the camaraderie between us. We have made mistakes and we laugh it off. So and it's a comfortable thing where, you know what, we're just having fun. And sometimes he'll say something or I'll say something and people will catch us laughing. That's kind of what keeps us.
And it's a beautiful thing to see, you know, Carolyn evolve as far as that's concerned. I remember when one of the first shows we did, she said, and our next song
And
will
now
be.
for our next
And we got on stage. I said, if you ever say that again, I'm gonna pop you upside your head right up on stage.
Well, that's because my father told him the same thing when he said it.
Well, it was something else I said, and your dad said something about it, and you're right. That made me understand there's certain things that you just don't say.
You were able to pass it down to him.
Very good. That's what it's all about.
I've got to be honest, that drives me nuts. You know, when you go to see shows and they spend 15 minutes in between each song talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, so just sing the song.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Come on.
It's you know, and a friend of mine told me that a long time ago too.
And you
Because
think it's the other way around.
yeah, it's
I see that,
No, I should have finished. I don't mean you, although go to a Howard Hewett song, you get just a show. No, I'm just, no, he's great. But the thing is, as an artist, that's what my thing is, because I used to tell them, we can't just sing. What am I going to say? And the segueing was so hard for me. And they were so comfortable with it. You think that's what they want to hear, and that's good to hear because you know what, I don't have to say nothing.
No, I mean, it's just me personally. I mean, you're going to see Mary J. Blige has got an amazing way of doing it. She comes out and she will belt out all the big songs within the first 20 minutes. And then after that, she's got the audience for the next hour or
That's
so.
a great
Right.
thing.
And I've seen people do that back in the day, and I'm like, whoa, that's the way you do it. You go out there and you just kill them.
Yeah.
With the hit, and then you got them.
Yeah.
And then people come out there, do 1 or 2 songs or something like that, and just start like opening up a encyclopedia or something and start blah 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 blah, blah, and the audience is getting like, exhausted. The energy, you could bring the energy down. You have to keep that energy up, keep them pumped, and then later in the show, you need a break, they need a break.
Because you need different,
you
need different colors. The show needs.
You have to go on a journey, don't you,
colors,
from start to finish? Of course you
From start
do.
to finish, and it starts here, and it starts here, and ends up, boom, here. So that's important. It's important to do that.
I think it's amazing that thinking back on it now, I mean, the nucleus of the band, if you like, is getting on for nearly 40 years old now. The name Shalamar and everything, which is
Name Shalamar.
Yeah, incredible.
'Cause I'm only 38.
And I'm just 19.
Oh, really? You have to blame her dad then.
And she's older than all of
It's
us.
funny that you said that because Solar Records will be celebrating 40 years
Next
in
year.
2017.
Yeah. It's fantastic, really, to think about that and all that great music that came out on that label.
Yep.
Just incredible, really. And you must look back at that and think,
It's an honor, man.
yeah, to have been involved in all of that and be with those bands and those musicians and all of that kind of thing and that history and the legacy. So have they got anything planned? Is Leon doing anything? Your mum? Anybody?
Well, I mean, because, the family, as we're still technically Solar Records, we are getting together with quite a few people, and we are putting some things together, definitely, some marketing, some memorabilia. And we're attempting to do the concerts, but we're going to leave that all. You can't give too much, because then if I give you something, then you'll expect it, so. I'll just say, stay tuned.
It'd be nice to buy a Solar T-shirt somewhere, though, wouldn't it? That would be kind of cool.
That you can look forward to.
Yeah.
That you can actually.
But it would be good. I mean, even just some box sets and a few remixes and some unreleased tracks. I think people like me would always want to be hearing those unreleased or, the demo versions and things like that, to hear how the songs were when they were first created.
That's gonna be a little hard,
that kind of stuff,
we can work on some
If there's any tapes left, that's the thing, I suppose,
the reels.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, if we could get our hands on
Multi-tracks.
those, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Gosh, I remember having the Midas touch in the garage for like 10 years.
Blimey, Calloway, I forgot all about them.
Yeah.
Listen, congratulations on the tour.
Thank you.
It's going to be amazing. And
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, and I can't wait to see the show. And so you're starting in London on Sunday, and then you go all the way through to the 1st of December, and you'll be in Worthing. And in between that, you've got to go to the Isle of Wight, and you'll be down on the south coast and all over everywhere and up to Wolverhampton.
That's right.
So that's amazing.
Everywhere.
Thank you very much for coming into My-Soul today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank
And
you.
we want to
Thanks,
say
Alan.
to all of your wonderful listeners that it's a pleasure to be here. We look forward to seeing you all coming out, because you're going to have a night to remember.
Absolutely.
Come see us on social media.
Absolutely.
Social media is very important with Shalamar
We've got
Friends.
Shalamar Friends, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or as Gemma says, Twitter.
Twitter.
And then we've also got, everybody has their individual pages. but
Howard
maybe
Hewett fan page.
Jeffrey Daniel,
Everybody.
even Carolyn Griffey, and the www.shalamar.info. That's the website for any updates, concerts, and
Yep.
Everything.
Social media is so important these
Now,
days.
your daughter looks after your social media page,
Yes,
doesn't she?
Lakiva.
Yeah, so-
Lakiva. Well, Kiva. She doesn't like Lakiva anymore, even though I named her Lakiva. Yeah, Kiva. She just took over about 7-8 months or so ago.
Has she sorted it out for you?
She's doing really well. She's doing a great job, and my other daughter, my next oldest daughter, is coordinating everything. She comes to the house once a week, and cracks the whip on me because I can kind of procrastinate sometimes, but she keeps everything moving, and then she
You
said,
guys
well,
also be on the look for Howie's World
Howie's World
and How We Roll.
is on
So
Facebook.
what, is that a blog or?
Facebook.com/Howard Hewitt fan page. We did start this section called Howie's World. And it's like just, little glimpses into, when I'm on the road, because it's it's an interesting situation. But a lot of times when I'm not on the road, what I do when I'm home and not working, which is not often. So, but different things that my daughters are coming up with to really kind of engage the viewers, the people that visit the page.
And Jeffrey, just quickly, I know we'd wrapped it up, but I just wanted to ask you: are you still living halfway between Nigeria and Japan? Is that still going on?
Japan, everywhere.
I was just in Japan up until 2 weeks ago, I was in Nigeria for 1 week, and then I flew up here to catch up with the tour.
Right.
And from here, I go back to Nigeria, to Lagos.
And of course, London is very special to you. I mean, you spent a good deal of time here in the 80s hosting the
Yeah.
Soul Train shows and all of that stuff, didn't you?
London started off my second home.
Yeah.
now it's been bumped down to my third. but yeah, someone told me something I never thought about it before. They said, Jeffrey, you're the only person I know that lives on 4 continents simultaneously. They said you're in America, you're in the UK, you're in Japan and Africa all at the same time. And I said, oh my God.
You've only got one more to go, and you've cracked a lot, haven't you?
Yes, I am. But it's not something I'm doing intentionally or on purpose. It's just the way it worked out. I wouldn't wish it on anyone else.
Well, listen, thanks very much.
Thank
It's
you.
been great to talk to you today, and I know you've travelled a long way, and I appreciate that, and you've got to get to rehearsals. So thanks for coming into My Soul.
Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Amazing.